We are going to revisit angles of triangles today, and I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison of the type of problems that we can have. There are two specific types of problems when we're talking about talking about angles of triangles and their relationships. So the first one that you see here is all interior angles. So that means that the only thing that we have given on this is interior, not just one, but all the interior angles. And so when you look, so you have to evaluate what angles am I given. If I'm given all interior angles, so when we look down here, it's interior, interior, interior. Okay, that's going to fall into this one. This one here, interior, interior, interior. These are all interior angles. They're all inside the triangle. So when we have when we have that type of problem, then this relationship right here is the relationship we will use. X plus Y plus Z. So all these are interior angles. So the sum of the interior angles is 180. And so we set up the equation that way and we solve it. Some of them are easier than others, but in a sense, we solve that. It's really amazing if we know two of them. So if we know X plus Y, okay, we're just going to add those up and then subtract. Okay, so if we're trying to find one of these angles, we can add up the two we know and subtract that from 180. And so it's pretty straightforward when we know which, two of the three angles. Okay, so that's the first kind. Now I wanted to, before we go further with that, I want to talk about the next kind that we have. Okay, so the next kind that we have, so we have one, it was all interior angles, so you add them up, they equal 180. This one, there is one exterior angle and two interior angles, but usually there's three angles. On this left side, the first one, they're all interior. On this one is exterior. So we have a different relationship. So what that looks like here then is when we're looking here, I have this angle is on the outside. These are on the inside. Notice that they're not adjacent, meaning they don't occupy that space right next to it. That space is empty. Okay, so it's the exterior and it's two non-adjacent interior angles. Okay, this one here. Exterior, two non-adjacent interior angles. So one is exterior, one is on the outside. So this is different than the others. Okay, so how this is set up then is the relationship is X plus Y equals Z. In other words, the sum of the interior angles, so the interior angles add up to equal the exterior angle. Okay, so those non-adjacent angles to that exterior, those two add up to be the exterior. Okay, and so that's how these two are different. If there's an exterior, you're doing this on the right and using the X plus Y equals Z. If they're interior, if they're all interior, you're using the one on the left, X plus Y plus Z equals 180. All right. These are similar. These are the same exact examples that I used last time, but then I'm going to go through some get more math that are different and varied. So okay, so on the left here, all interior. So the very first thing you have to do is figure out which one do I have? Which one of these do I have? And so you've got to actually look at that. So you're looking and you're looking here and you're looking here and you're having to decide which one is it. Okay, so which one am I going to use? That's the very first thing. And so that's why very first thing I'm doing right now is showing you how to tell the difference and then what to do with that difference. Okay, so the very first thing you're going to do is figure out which one. Okay, so that is, I'm going to go ahead and leave that there. But so which one? Okay, all right, so we're back to here. All right, so the very first one, then I look and I ask myself which one. So I eyeball the little angles. Now I know this because it's already on this side, right? But so I eyeball the angles and I say, oh, look, 1, 2, 3, they're all interior. So then I say to myself, okay, so that means that x plus y plus z equals 180. And that's going to be the first thing I do. Which one am I doing? Okay, so now I've got x plus y plus z equals 180, and so now I just start plugging numbers in. So 35 plus 86 plus question mark equals 180. Oh, this is one of those where I can just add these up. So is that 121 plus question mark equals 180, and we could use x there, and then subtract 121. Now, I just did that math in my head, so my recommendation is, especially since some of you have a lot of problems. Some of you don't have very many makeup problems, but some of you do. But you guys are doing Get More Math, right? So you're going to have quite a few problems. And so use a calculator to kind of save some of that brain power. Okay, so that's going to be 59. So the question mark equals 59. So you go back and read the question. What was it asking for? It was asking for that missing angle. So we're done. So you don't put question mark equals 59 and Get More Math, you just put 59. So we take a look at this next problem. Okay, so I'm going to look at it. That looks like a nose. Okay, so I'm looking at it and I see that I've got 1, 2, 3 interior angles. So they're all interior. So I say to myself, that's going to be x plus y plus z equals 180. And so then I can go forward. Okay, now there's a couple things that I want to talk about here, but let's go ahead and go forward. So 53 plus 41 plus, so what am I doing? I'm just adding the angles. 53 plus 41 plus 6n plus 20 equals 180. So now I am adding like terms, and pay attention to signs, because one of the problems that we did on the test had a minus in front of one of these, and a lot of people added because they weren't paying attention to that. So pay attention to those signs. All right, so 53 plus 41 plus 20. So I get 114 plus 6n equals 180. So I'm just going through the steps of solving an equation. I need to move this over, so I'm going to do opposite. That's 114. I get 66 equals 6n. So now I need to get rid of that. Do opposite, divide by 6, n equals 11. All right, so that is one of the problems. And this is a type of problem that has a couple steps. Okay, so the first thing you did is you figured out what n is. Okay, but now this next step says to find KML. So start at K, go to M, then to L. There's two ways you can do this. Honestly, the easiest way, and a lot of people, I guess it doesn't matter. It depends on how you see it. You know what n is. Plug it in. N equals 11. Plug it in. Oh, 6 times 11 is 66 plus 20, 86. Right? That's one way to do that. The other way is to take that step back and look at it again. You have 2 of the 3 angles. You could have found this before you found n. You just go 53 plus 41 plus a question mark, because we don't know what KML is, equals 180. Add these up, 94. So minus 94, 180 minus 94. So 180 minus 94 should be the same thing I had, 86. Yep. Okay, so there you have it. Now, it's a lot of math and a lot of different ways to see it, But if I had plugged in for that second one, so 6 times 11 is 66 plus 20, I got 86. If I just add these up and subtract it from 180, I get 86. So it really just depends on how you see that. Okay. So that's how to do those types of problems. All right. Let's look at this next set. So again, I start with the problem and I say, okay, I'm going to look at the problem and I'm going to say, what kind is that? And I look and say, oh my gosh, I have one exterior angle. So I'm going to do the x plus y equals z method here. Okay, so the x plus y are these guys here. So I get x plus 38 equals 100. And now I'm just back to draw the river, get rid of that, minus 38 from each side. And so again, 70, 62. So just check your math. I did that math in my head, but I'm going to check it because it's early in the morning and you never know what my brain is doing. So x equals 62. I was right. So all you have to put in is 62. It asks, what is x? Put in 62. And this is same thing. Almost easier because, okay, so first of all, every single time I'm going to eyeball it. Okay, so I look at it. I've got one exterior angle. Okay, got that. So I've got x plus y equals c, and I write that out. I talk about that. I think about that. I do that whole process in my head before I start. 42 plus 62. So you look and it's these two interior angles. We have both of them. That's awesome. Equals negative x. Ooh, negative x. Gosh darn it. All right. So that negative x is kind of goofy. So I'm just going to say, I know that this angle is just the sum of those. So that's 10, 104. That's 104. So 104 equals negative x. What is x equal? Negative 104. It's just opposite. So if negative x is 104, then x is negative 104. And that's what you put. Only do that in the scenario, the trick ones where they actually put a negative there. I don't even know how often that's going to happen, if it even happens. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and go through some mixed examples. Okay. So I'm going to model how I would do that. All right. So I'm going to start with number one. Okay. So I look at it, I say, oh, they're all interior. Okay, so x plus y plus z equals 180. See, I know how to do this stuff, and I'm still writing it out every single time. So I've got 68 plus 52 plus z equals 180. Okay, this is one of those where I can just add these up and subtract from 180. So at that point, I say 68. Do your setup, please. Okay, so if we are, okay, I got 60. So z equals 60. Okay, do this setup. Okay, when I'm grading you, you're taking this test on Friday and you're doing this, and I'm grading you, I want to see that setup. Okay, so if you show this work and then you come up with something really goofy like 58 or something like that, I can look at your work and see what you did. If you did a silly, stupid mistake, I can give you partial or all credit. If I do that enough times, that's really going to make a difference on your grade. Okay? Show your work, show your setup. So, it's half the battle choosing the right thing, the right formula. If you chose the right formula and put the numbers in correctly and you started going through the process and you made a silly solving mistake, that'll be some credit. Okay, so please. Next problem. Find the requested value. So again, I'm going to take a look at it. I'm going to say, oh, look, it's all interior. So I'm going to have x plus y plus z equals 180. And so that is my setup. Okay. And so I'm looking, every single problem I'm looking for, it's either going to be one or the other. Okay. So I'm going to take, and I'm going to put these together. Now I'm going to start, trying to, when I have expressions that have the variables, I'm going to start trying to put those in front. So I have 4w minus 2 plus and I'm just go 90, so because that's a 90-degree angle, plus 36 equals 180. And the reason why I start putting this one in front is because then I've got all my like terms right next to each other. And what you're going to notice here is that this is a -2, so be very careful. Again, using your calculator, I just go 90 plus 36 minus 2. So I get 124. So 4W plus 124 equals 180. So now I'm going to subtract 124. So subtract, and I get 56. So 4W equals 56. Now keep this one in mind because this 4W equals is kind of important. Okay, so keep that in mind right there. We're going to use that in the next step. So now I divide by 4, W equals 14. And yes, I'm using my calculator. I could do a lot of this in my head, but I'm going to use my calculator because I don't want to make those silly mistakes that I sometimes make. Okay, so the next one says, okay, so I've got that one, and then there's another box. It says KML. What is KML? And it's really always asking for this one that is the variable one. So KML is 4W minus 2. There is another way to do this, but KML is 4W minus 2. Well, I already know that 4W is 56. I mean, that's like the step before I divide. So, and you're going to find that pattern. You're going to be seeing that a lot. So I know then that 56, or 4 times 14, whatever, minus 2 is going to be 54. Okay, and so that's just a way to look at that. All right, so this next one, again, I'm going to eyeball it, and I'm going to look, and I'm going to say, oh, look, there is an exterior angle. So it's one exterior angle. And so that means I'm going to be doing the x plus y equals z option, where z is that exterior angle. So I've got 2x plus, try that again. I've got 2x plus 29 plus 107. So those are the two interior angles, equals 149. That is the exterior angle. So now I'm solving equations again. Okay, 29 plus 107 equals, so it's 2x plus 136 equals 149. So I subtract 136, and I get 13. So 2x equals 13, which is gonna not come out even. But you know what? I will double check my work, but sometimes it happens. And I go back and look, oh, must be maybe exact or rounded to the nearest tenth. Oh, there's a major hint that you could end up with a decimal right there. So I guess I'm in good shape then. Number 4. So again, I'm looking and I see, oh my gosh, there's an exterior angle. My exterior angle tells me then that I am going to be doing this x plus y equals z. So I'm going to add my interiors, and it's going to be my exterior. My interiors are here. Oh, 35 plus 39. I'm not even going to have to solve anything here. Equals x. 60, 74 equals x, and I am done. That's it. That one's pretty easy because they give you the two interior angles, and they don't do anything tricky with that x like they did in the example in the notes. All right, so I look at this again. I'm looking, and I say, oh, all interior. So again, get used to this, because if you, again, will show me the setup. Okay, so I'm going to start again with the variable. You don't have to. I'm starting to do that because I see that it puts automatically my like terms next to each other. So it just makes it easier. Okay, I don't have to do it, but you can. This setup right here is worth points. If you had that set up and didn't finish solving, I'd probably give you half the credit, because what am I testing you on? Solving your equations or doing, interior angles and exterior angles and all that? I'm doing angles of triangles. So if you don't get to the solving part, you'll get half credit. But if you went through and got half credit on all of it, you still only have 50%. So you want to do a little bit more than that. That will not save your bacon, except in a rare occasion it might. So I add those all up. So I get 144 equals 180. So I subtract 144, subtract 144, I get 36. So 4n equals 36. So keeping that in mind, because that is going to be that 4n, so I'm going to need this step right here. But I divide by 4, and n equals 9. So I need that too. So n equals 9. GJH is 4n plus 5. How do I know that? Start at G, go to J, go to H. Yep. It's usually going to, that second one is usually going to be that one with the variable in it. It's going to be 4n plus 5. Well, I already know 4n is 36. It was over here. Or I could plug it in. 4 times 9 is 36. 36 plus 40, 36 plus 5 is 41. So just doing that math. And here's the last one that I'm going to do for examples. And then you had tons of examples you guys can work through. If it's, do I just do the assignment or do I do it until I'm really good at it? It's up to you. Okay, so I look at this one, I see it's all interior angles, so I skip that step. So it's all interior angles, 1, 2, 3. So I'm just going to do, this is one of the ones with the question marks, those tend to be a little easier. So I got 45 plus 60 plus question mark equals 180. Oh, this is just one of those where I add them up and subtract from 180. So that's going to be 105. And 180 minus 105 is 75. So question mark equals 75. You just put in 75. Don't even have to put in the question mark. So that's the method behind the madness. Every single time I'm looking and making a decision, is it this or that? Okay, is it interior or exterior? And the this or that, is it all interior or exterior? Because it makes a difference how you set up the equation. Okay, you have plenty of examples, more examples, more examples, more examples, more examples, and answers. And then guess what? There's more. Why do I give you so many? Because the best way to study for math tests like this is to just do the math. And until you can do all of these problems and not make mistakes, do more. And not make mistakes. When you get it to the point where you're not making mistakes and you're getting it the first time and you're fluent, you're like, okay, yeah, I got this, then you're in good shape. Okay, so study, study, study. Your follow-up is Friday, and I probably won't spend a lot of time tomorrow on that, so work hard.